Hey y'all, so this is Shelby from Simple Homemaker Meals, and we have been processing 2 deer that my husband killed the past 2 days. Some processes you didn't see is him field dressing it, removing the guts, and then hanging it up, and then deboning it, and now we have to butcher it into the cuts we want. Earlier I already did this, but we did, it was 2 of the butt cheeks of one of the bucks. And I think we ended up with 8 roast, 2 or 3 bags of stew meat, and a bunch of ground beef. Well, a bunch of the ground beef. So I've got this for the ground beef, and then this is for jerky. I'm going to go ahead and do it. But I'm going ahead and getting all my cuts how I want them, so it's just easier for me when I go to cook. But we've got totes here, different ones, and then our meat is on ice. We don't have that cool fancy walk-in cooler, so we have to put everything on ice and get through it, but that's what we're doing. I have some basic knives. This is an outdoor edge knife. I'll link that in my storefront because this is a really, really great knife, from skinning it to processing the meat. It's really awesome. But the film here, kind of gristle, you want to read that? Hey y'all, so this is the end of the butchering process, but this is actually not all the meat. I have a whole bag full here, and I have a laundry basket full of some ground venison. So lots and lots of meat. So this is not even all of it, but this is what 2 harvested deer looks like. I probably have about 30 pounds of ground venison, maybe 25. I've got about 6 pounds of fajita steak meat already sliced up for venison fajitas. I've got about 8 to 10 roast. I've got a couple pounds of just stew meat, to put in stews. And then I've got about 15 steaks. We utilized everything. It was a really long process. I think all in all, with grinding, processing, skinning, like the whole ordeal, we probably have about 12 to 15 hours in food and processing. But that amount of time equals this amount of food. And this is a lot. probably 3 deer would feed our family for a year. Our family of 4 feed us well too. We use a lot of ground hamburger meat, usually beef, so we wanted to ground a lot. The only thing is, so I see that it's a little freezer burnt, but these I'll use first. Some of it we vacuum sealed. The only problem is that I found with the vacuum seal, there was a lot of moisture with the meat, so the vacuum seal kept messing up. So this is our first time doing it to this extent. Lots learned, lots that we will do a little differently. Hopefully next time we can keep the deer hanging for a little bit longer. We were working against the clock because it was a little warm on Thanksgiving Day, so we couldn't let the deer hang as much as we hoped. But a lot of great meat. This is the real deal local meat. So we, and I've shared on my Instagram page, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I share a lot more in-depth stuff there. So we're primarily one income besides what I make through my social media things, through my cookbooks, meal planners, and so forth. So we can't always pay the local prices around here. But this right here is food security for us, while also adhering to the local meat, just trying to use what we have and use what we've got with what we have locally. So we've done that, and like I said, 12-15 hours, and we have this much meat. It was a process, but totally worth it. We actually ate one of the hearts this morning. The other heart, it was shot through. That's where my husband shot him, and it just is everywhere, which we probably could have salvaged it. So yeah, a lot of process. We have a grinder. I'll link that in my storefront on Amazon, the one we use. It worked really well. I highly encourage the Outdoor Edge knife. I'll link that in my stories and storefront on Amazon too, because it is game changer slicing the meat. Works amazingly. But yeah, this is all the meat, and all those bags down here, I just couldn't get it all on the counter, and I didn't want to drop it all off. So really worth it. Time consuming, but totally worth it. If you don't have land, hunt. Learn to hunt and do it, because it's so worth it. If you're wondering, okay, where do I hunt? I don't have land. There is public land depending on your state. You can find out about that, and you can also go ask local farmers. A lot of times they'll let you hunt their land, as long as you don't shoot their livestock. So just some ideas there, because one of the bucks we harvested was actually shot on a farmer's land, actually rancher. He has cattle, but of course we asked permission. My husband did, and that's how I got this. So really cool. You don't have to have a lot of land to be somewhat self-sufficient and get the best meat you can for your family, because that's what we try to do, and this saves us money. We got a lot of food here. We're very thankful, and yeah, so that was the butchering process. I didn't go in detail of how I was totally cutting the cuts, because this is my second time, so I'm definitely not an experienced butcher. This is all just learning. So if you watch this and you're like, oh, she did it wrong or whatever, that's okay, because I'm learning. And if you're scared to do it, don't be scared to do it, because it's an awesome learning experience. And I apologize for the fire alarm. We still haven't got that fixed. But I just thank y'all for supporting me, watching my videos, sharing on social media, my Instagram. But this is what we do as a family to help us be sustainable, use what we got, and be a good steward of what God's given us. So, and we also, right now, my husband is working on the hide. We're gonna make a deer skin. It's not gonna be totally deer skin. We're gonna keep the hide on it, the fur rug. So I'm really excited to share that. I'll share the updates on that on my Instagram. So thanks for following along and seeing the process of how we harvest 2 deer. See y'all later. Bye.